You're just finally seeing the world for what it really is, and it killed something in you.
You feel it, don't you? That emptiness. That void where something used to live. You wake up and go through the motions. Shower, eat, work, smile when you're supposed to. But inside, nothing. It's like someone reached into your chest and flipped a switch, and now you're just here, existing, breathing, but not alive. People ask how you're doing, and you say fine, because what else are you going to say? That you feel like a ghost walking through your own life? That you can't remember the last time you felt real? They wouldn't understand anyway. They'd tell you to think positive, or be grateful, or some other hollow advice that makes them feel better about not knowing how to help you. But here's what I need you to know. You're not crazy. You're not broken. You're not defective. Feeling dead inside isn't a flaw. It's a response to a world that took and took and took until there was nothing left to give. A response to betrayal, disappointment, loss. A response to caring too much in a world that cares too little. You didn't die inside because you're weak. You died inside because you felt too much for too long, and your soul finally said enough. That numbness, that's not the end. That's your mind's way of protecting you from a reality that was tearing you apart. But here's the thing they don't tell you about feeling dead inside. It's temporary. If you choose it to be. You know what's strange about feeling nothing? How heavy it is. People think emptiness is light, weightless. But it's not. It's crushing. It's waking up and having to convince yourself to get out of bed even though there's no reason to. It's going through your day on autopilot, watching yourself from the outside like you're not even there. It's laughing at jokes you don't find funny, nodding at conversations you're not really hearing, saying I'm fine so many times you almost believe it yourself. Almost, but you're not fine. You're drowning in shallow water, suffocating in open air. And the worst part? Nobody sees it. They see you functioning, they see you surviving, so they assume you're okay. But functioning isn't living. Surviving isn't thriving. You're a corpse with a pulse, a shell with nothing inside. And maybe that's what hurts the most. Not that you feel nothing, but that nobody notices. That you can be this empty, this hollow, this gone, and the world just keeps spinning like you're still here. But you're not here. Not really. You're somewhere in between, caught in limbo, between the person you used to be and the person you don't know how to become. And that's terrifying. Because you remember who you were. You remember when things mattered, when people mattered, when you mattered. You remember what it felt like to care, to dream, to want something more than just the end of the day. But now you're just counting hours, killing time, waiting for something, anything to make you feel alive again. And nothing does. Nothing penetrates the fog. Nothing breaks through the numbness. You're stuck, frozen, dead. Let me tell you what killed the person you used to be. It wasn't one thing. It never is. It was the accumulation, the slow bleed, death by 1,000 cuts. It was trusting people who betrayed you, loving people who left, believing in things that crumbled. It was giving everything and getting nothing back, fighting battles alone while everyone else watched, screaming for help in a language nobody understood. It was the disappointments, the broken promises, the I'll be there for you, that turned into silence when you actually needed them. It was caring in a world that doesn't care back. You gave your heart to people who treated it like trash. You invested in relationships that were bankrupt from the start. You believed in the goodness of people, and they showed you exactly how cruel humans can be. And somewhere along the way you broke. Not dramatically, not all at once. Just quietly, slowly. Until one day you woke up and realized you didn't feel anything anymore. The anger faded, the sadness numbed. Even the pain dulled into this constant low-frequency hum of nothing. And at first it was almost a relief, because feeling nothing is better than feeling everything, right? Better to be numb than to be constantly drowning in emotion. But then the numbness settled in, made itself at home, became your new normal, and you realized, this is worse than the pain, worse than the sadness, worse than the anger, because at least those things meant you were still alive. At least those things meant you still cared about something. But now you're just empty, a walking void, a breathing corpse, a ghost haunting your own life. And nobody prepared you for this. Nobody told you that you could survive everything and still feel dead, that you could make it through and still be broken. Nobody told you that sometimes the price of survival is your soul, the dangerous comfort of numbness. Here's what happens when you feel dead inside for long enough. You get comfortable with it. The numbness stops feeling like an enemy and starts feeling like protection. A shield, a fortress where nothing can hurt you anymore. You tell yourself it's better this way, safer. That caring only leads to pain, so why bother caring at all? You build walls so high that nothing gets in. Not the bad, but also not the good. You push away opportunities because what's the point? You reject connections because they'll just leave anyway. You stop dreaming because dreams only lead to disappointment. And slowly, quietly, the numbness becomes your identity. You're not the person who feels dead inside. You are dead inside. And that's when it becomes dangerous. Because once you accept the numbness, once you stop fighting it, it consumes you. It takes root. It becomes permanent. You forget what it feels like to laugh and mean it, to love without fear, to hope without cynicism. You become so used to feeling nothing that the idea of feeling something again becomes terrifying. What if you open up and get hurt again? What if you care and lose again? What if you hope and get crushed again? So you stay in the numbness. You stay in the void. You stay dead, because at least here, you're safe. At least here, nobody can hurt you, but nobody can save you either, not even yourself. You're trapped in a prison of your own making, and the worst part is you're holding the key, but you're too tired to use it, too exhausted from everything you've been through, too drained from all the battles you've fought, too broken from all the times you've put yourself back together only to shatter again. So you just stay in the darkness, in the emptiness, in the nothing. And days turn into weeks, weeks turn into months, months turn into years, and you look back one day and realize you've been dead for so long, you've forgotten what it feels like to be alive. Let me tell you something nobody has the guts to say. Feeling dead inside isn't something that just goes away. It's not like a cold that runs its course. It's not something you can positive think your way out of. This is deep. This is structural. This is your soul's way of saying, I can't do this anymore. And all those people telling you to just be happy or focus on the good things, they don't get it, because you're not sad. Sadness would be an improvement. You're nothing. You're beyond sad, beyond depressed, beyond broken. You're in a place where emotions go to die, and nobody has a map to get you out. But here's the truth. They won't tell you. You can't fix this by going back to who you were. That person is gone, dead, buried under the weight of everything that broke you. And trying to resurrect them, trying to go back to normal, trying to be the person you used to be. That's not healing. That's denial. You can't unbreak what's been shattered. You can't unknow what you've learned. You can't unfeel what you've felt. The old you is dead, and that's not a tragedy. That's a fact. The question isn't how to bring them back. The question is, who are you going to become now? Because feeling dead inside is actually an opportunity. A dark, brutal, suffocating opportunity, but an opportunity nonetheless. It's a blank slate, a reset button, a chance to rebuild yourself from the ground up without the weight of who you were supposed to be. You're not broken. You're broken open. And everything that made you who you were has spilled out, leaving you empty. But empty isn't the end. Empty is space. Space for something new, something stronger, something real. But you have to choose it. You have to choose to stop rotting in the numbness and start building in the emptiness. And I'm not going to lie to you. It's going to be hard. The first step out of numbness isn't dramatic. It's not some big revelation or life-changing moment. It's small, quiet, almost insignificant. It's choosing to feel something, anything, even if it's pain, even if it's anger, even if it's just acknowledging that you're not okay and you haven't been for a while. Because numbness is a lie. It's not the absence of feeling, it's the suppression of feeling. You're not dead inside. You're just buried alive under layers of protection, denial, and exhaustion. And the only way out is to start digging. You have to let yourself feel again. And I know that's terrifying. I know you've spent so long avoiding pain that the idea of inviting it back in feels like insanity. But here's what you need to understand. You can't selectively numb. When you shut down the pain, you shut down everything. The joy, the love, the hope, the life. You become a zombie, and zombies don't heal, they just decay. So you have to make a choice. Stay safe in the numbness, or risk everything to feel again. And I can't make that choice for you. Nobody can. But I can tell you this. The risk is worth it. Because even if you feel pain again, even if you get hurt again, even if everything falls apart again, at least you'll be alive. At least you'll be real. At least you'll be fighting instead of just fading. And maybe you don't win. Maybe you fall again. Maybe you break again. But at least you'll be something instead of nothing. At least you'll be trying instead of dying. And that's the difference between existing and living, between survival and revival. The anger phase, here's what nobody tells you about coming back to life. The first thing you feel is anger. Not joy, not relief, not peace. Rage. Rage at the people who hurt you. Rage at the world that broke you. Rage at yourself for letting it happen. You're angry that you gave so much and got so little. Angry that you cared when nobody cared back. Angry that you're in this position in the first place. And that anger, don't suppress it. Let it burn. Let it fuel you. Let it remind you that you're still alive under all that numbness. Because anger means you still give a damn. Anger means there's still fire left inside you. And fire can destroy, yes, but fire can also forge. It can burn away everything. Weak, everything fake, everything that doesn't serve you anymore. It can melt down the old version of you and reshape something stronger. But you have to channel it. You have to direct it. Don't let it consume you. Don't let it turn you into the thing that hurt you. Use it as fuel, as energy, as proof that you're not dead. Because dead people don't get angry. Dead people don't feel rage. Dead people don't fight back. And if you're angry, you're not dead. You're just buried. And buried things can claw their way back to the surface. So be angry, be furious, be livid. But then ask yourself, what am I going to do with this? Am I going to destroy myself with it? Or am I going to use it to rebuild? Am I going to let it rot me from the inside? Or am I going to let it burn away everything that's been keeping me dead? The choice is yours. Coming back to life after feeling dead isn't pretty. It's messy. It's painful. It's slow. You don't just wake up one day and feel whole again. You rebuild yourself piece by piece, scar by scar, day by day. And some days you'll feel like you're making progress, and other days you'll feel like you're back at square one. That's normal. Healing isn't linear. It's not a straight line from broken to fixed. It's a chaotic spiral of good days and bad days, breakthroughs and breakdowns. But every day you choose to feel, every day you choose to fight, every day you choose to try, that's a victory. Even if nobody sees it. Even if nobody applauds it. Even if you feel like you're still drowning. You're fighting. And that matters. Because the alternative is staying dead. And you've been dead long enough. So you start small. You find one thing, just one, that makes you feel something. A sunset. A memory. A goal. You grab onto it. You hold it. You let it remind you that there's still something worth feeling in this world. And then you find another, and another. And slowly, the pieces start to come together. Not into who you were, into who you're becoming. Someone stronger, someone wiser, someone who knows what darkness looks like and chose to fight their way out anyway. Someone who felt dead and decided that wasn't the end of the story. Someone who refused to stay buried. Here's what they don't tell you about rising from the dead. You don't come back the same. You can't. Everything that killed you changed you. And that's not a bad thing. You're not who you were. You're not as naive, not as trusting, not as soft. You're harder now, sharper, more real. You've seen the darkness. You've lived in the void. You've felt what it's like to be nothing, and that changes you, but it doesn't destroy you, because you're here. You're still breathing. You're still fighting, and that makes you dangerous, not to others, to yourself, to the version of you that wanted to give up. You're dangerous because you know what rock bottom feels like. You know what it's like to lose everything, including yourself. And you survived it. You clawed your way back. Not because someone saved you, not because life got easier, not because the pain went away, but because you decided that feeling dead wasn't enough anymore, that you deserved more than just existing, that you deserved to live. And that decision, that choice to fight, even when you didn't want to, that's your power, that's your strength. You're not the person you were before everything broke you. That person is dead and gone. But you're not dead. And the version of you that emerges from this, that's the one they should fear. Not because you're cruel, not because you're heartless, but because you're unbreakable, because you've already been broken. You've already felt death. You've already survived the worst. What else is there to fear? So if you're listening to this and you feel dead inside, this is for you. This is your wake-up call, your permission slip, your intervention. You are not meant to stay in the darkness. You are not meant to rot in the numbness. You are not meant to waste away in the void. You are meant to rise, not easily, not quickly, not without scars, but rise nonetheless, because you are more than your pain. You are more than your trauma. You are more than the things that broke you. You are a survivor, a fighter, a phoenix waiting to burn. And I know you're tired. I know you don't think you have it in you. I know the idea of trying again feels impossible, but you're still here. And as long as you're here, there's still a chance, still a choice, still a possibility. You can stay dead, or you can come back to life. You can rot, or you can rise. You can give up, or you can fight. The world doesn't care which one you choose. People will move on either way. Life will continue without you, but you will know. You'll know whether you gave up or kept going, whether you stayed buried or broke through, whether you let the darkness win, or if you became the light. And years from now, when you look back at this moment, you'll either regret staying dead, or you'll be proud you chose to live. Feeling dead inside isn't the end of your story. It's the middle. It's the darkest chapter. The lowest point, the moment where everything feels hopeless. But it's not the end, unless you choose it to be. And I can't force you to choose life. I can't make you want to fight. I can't give you a reason to keep going if you don't want one. But I can tell you this. The world needs people who've been to hell and back. People who know what darkness looks like. People who've felt death and chosen life anyway. The world needs people like you, not the version of you that's numb and broken, the version of you that's gonna rise from this, the version that's going to take all this pain and turn it into power, the version that's going to look back at this moment and say, that's when I decided to live. So this is your moment, your choice, your turning point. You can close this video and go back to the numbness, back to the void, back to being dead. Or you can decide, right now, right here, that you're done being dead. The choice is yours, but choose quickly, because every day you stay dead is a day you'll never get back, and you've already lost enough time. Don't lose any more. Come back to life. Not for anyone else, not for the world, not for some grand purpose. Come back for you, because you deserve to feel alive. You deserve to experience joy again. You deserve to live. So live. Not perfectly, not easily, not without pain, but live. This is your message. This is your moment. Don't waste it.